Great designs are just a printer click away.
Spiky Bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Rob Bear from SpikyBits.com. Today's video is going to be all about what Puppetswar has going on Patreon right now. I guess probably before I show you their Patreon, I should talk to you a little bit about their actual site too. So Puppetswar hit us up a while back about helping to promote them with their new Patreon and also talking about their site. And I was more than happy to because they have great products, they have a lot of amazing designs, and they're just great in general overall. We've been posting about their products on the site for the last 5, 6, 7 years. I don't know what is time anymore. And what I like most about their site, and it definitely goes into their designs on their Patreon page, their digital stuff, which you can also buy the prints of. So if you see something on their Patreon, you can get an actual print of it, maybe not available in resin quite yet, over here on their site. And conversely, if you miss something on their Patreon, like it's currently June, you miss one of their designs, and you want the design, well, you can still get it from my mini factory as well as a separate STL. So there's lots of different options depending on how you want to do things. But if you just want resin minis, they have a really cool resin mini builders on here that you can go through and you can design all sorts of different squads with all sorts of different heads. I think there's like 40 or 50 different head options you can do on here in their little builder, which is just amazing. And I love that it's this thing in here called the configurators, and I just love just going into this thing sometimes and playing around. You can kind of see the base design, like they got bikes, they got troops, they got human stuff, all sorts of different things in here that you can really mess around with, turrets and all sorts of orcs and things, which kind of brings us back to their Patreon too, because their Patreon every month they're going to be doing basically 3 different solid sets of designs over there. And of course you can Google all this stuff. It's just, patreon.com/Puppetswar Miniatures, or of course puppetswar.eu to get over to their actual site. So currently they're at the $10 a month mark. They had some, early adopters and things, but those are unfortunately all sold out right now. So each month they basically have an insectoids, or not Tyranids, strikers, or not space marines, and orcs, not orcs with a K, of course, offerings, where they have a couple different options to choose from with a whole bunch of tons of bits. A lot of these are you can print them out and they're pre-magnetized, which is great. So it's very, very customizable, which is probably one of the only people out there that actually do it that way, which I kind of like personally. And I'll show you some of their printouts here in a second for this month's and June's Patreon, but also some of the stuff we printed out in the past and actually magnetized. It's super easy to do. The holes are already there. So here's their welcome pack. You can get some really cool minis, just try it out, see if it's for you. If it's not, 3D printing is kind of a hobby in some ways, and I get it. But they have the prints available over there. Here's a little preview for what they got coming out next month. If I had to guess, I would say maybe those are some bikers, which are pretty cool, and some crazy looking Bushido orcs with a C, of course. And then here's the current lineup, which is, you can always flip through this and kind of see everything. But let's see, this looks to be pretty cool. Like, you've got some human snipers, you got the Mega Buster orcs, I think they call them, some insectoids up there, and some character dudes there in the middle. And then of course you can kind of see all the different bits, all the different heads that are available in the head swaps. And the arms pretty much are the same on a lot of these, but you can change out the barrels on the striker guys, which is kind of neat. We just assembled the stuff one way. A lot of this was pre-magnetized, like I was saying, but we didn't really spend a whole lot of time kind of going down that rabbit hole and doing it all. But you got different heads here. You got the Tejas heads, which I really like, and then some sniper heads and things here. Some insectoids, kind of semi-mechanical looks to some of their heads, which I think is pretty neat. I always love that. More of a kind of the Covenant from Halo looking heads, I think. Very, very cool stuff. And there's the characters in the version, and you can see the different the different barrels available there. So there's like a long rifle and a short kind of carbine type thing. So overall, it's really cool stuff. We've already downloaded and printed some out and primed them up just to show you what it looks like with primer, because I mean that's that's like where you go to see how it's all there. And I think I'm pretty impressed with this month's releases. Obviously, they always have good stuff, and their preview to next month is already looking pretty good. So, you know, $10 a month might be worth your hobby dollars to kind of pick up all the new releases for that particular month. Of course, if it's still in June, you can get these. If you miss any of these, you can pick them up from My Mini Factory, or you can get the prints from Puppetswar themselves. And of course, they have all sorts of other resin goodies on their site too, along with the configurators. Plus, well, there's they got free shipping over there too. So I don't know. There's so many different options. There's so many benefits to picking stuff up. If you really want something dialed in and looking a certain way, squad wise, in a more kind of like affordable way, it's probably good to start here, unless you know you're going for a certain look and they perhaps don't carry it. But let's take a look. Like I said, we printed out some of the stuff here that I'm pretty impressed with, and I love their designs. They're just very, very forward and very, very cool to play around with. Well, first up, we'll show you Mr. Buggy here, which I think is pretty cool. Now, keep in mind, these are printed and primed already. So this is what, when you go to actually start putting paint on the model, this is the level of detail. Well, I guess depending on your printer, right? But this is basically what you're looking at as far as the design goes. I guess it's up to you, the level of detail that you can print out. But this was a 25 micron or nanometer, whatever you want to call it, print, which I think is pretty good. And you can position all the arms here. They all come separately, and of course they got a whole bunch of different heads. This is more of the Covenant-y kind of extraterrestrial kind of look, I suppose. And then mounted on a 50mm base here. And just to give you an idea, this is how this guy compares to a primary Space Marine. So very, very cool. Definitely in the realm of believability as far as size goes, depending on what you're trying to use it for. And then here's the special character guy with this was another barrel that was available this month, kind of like a faux suppressor kind of look, I guess. With you gotta have a cowboy hat. I mean, if you can have a cowboy hat on a Space Marine, like, I don't know why you wouldn't at that point. So very, very cool. And he's got a combat blade in there as well. So as you can tell, their designs are great as long as you have the technology. And of course, if you buy them from them, I'm sure they'll be just as crisp. I'm not sure exactly. You know, this is printed here on our printers, which are a little bit more advanced than most people's, you know, over-the-counter type thing, consumer quality, I suppose. And then this is how he, of course, compares to a Primaire. So right about the same size. Now you might notice this hole on the back. It's so you can put banners and things in there, or any other thing. So this is a previous Striker model that we showed you in the past, and like I said, all of the options. There's a lot of different options on this month there was, because it doesn't really make sense that you have options here. But you can see there's a lot of different things that you can do. You can even put a jetpack on there if you choose to magnetize it, because the models or the banners that they have too, because the little magnet holes are already technically pre-drilled, because that's how they print. And then Sniper Squad Duder right here. Like I said, there's a bunch of different barrels that come in these, and they're all interchangeable. These were actually bits, and I tried them on each just to see which one I liked more. And so you can print out, you know, whatever look you're going for. That's what I really like about these, is they're very customizable. Like, once you have a specific look and it's something they have, you can just, you know, literally print it all out if you want, or get the bits from them, or you do it in their unit configurator and, you know, get free shipping coming over from the EU. Their stuff's just so super affordable and so customizable that it's, you know, it's hard to find a better use for your hobby dollars out there, I suppose, in some ways. And then here's the Orc Buster, Mega Buster, I think they called it, which is really great. And there's a bunch of different heads in here. Of course, we went more with the kind of Punisher kind of look head. You can mirror the shoulder pads if you want to, or there's you know, just have hodgepodge kind of shoulder pads, hodgepodge kind of weapons. I think there was some missile ends and things, and you know, these come pre-drilled too, so you don't even have to use these weapon ends. If you want to do the drills, you can mirror it and have it over here too, or the blades. That's what's really cool about this stuff, is if you're printing it out, you can kind of do whatever, but it's almost just as easy to configure something exactly how you want on their website too, with all their configurators, which it's kind of cool to see it go from, you know, it's not something we see a whole lot, go from the digital to the actual, you know, physical in both mediums of cast resin, printed resin, and then also, you know, you doing this stuff as a consumer at home, which is really cool. And I like what they're doing, so I don't mind talking about them and helping them get a little bit more of the reach out there. So for $10 a month, you know, you have access to all sorts of, you saw that whole huge image, and I just can't say enough good things about Puppetswar. I love working with them. Just a blast, really, to kind of see how far they've come so far, and really excited to see all their designs each month. Hopefully we'll see some new bikes next month, which would be really fun, or maybe some more jump pack duders. I don't know. Either way, I always love what they have. I guess it's worth mentioning too, and I kind of forgot in the opening, that sometimes they have a fourth or a fifth tier, like some space elves, I forget what they call them, or also some demon models too. But those are more of like they don't guarantee it, but just be aware that some months you might see something like that. Well, regardless of whether there's demon models up on the Patreon for the month, or even some of their space elves as well, I definitely think Puppetswar is probably one of the makers out there that you should be at least maybe supporting on the regular or infrequently, as you see something that might benefit your hobby dollars or your collection out there. But definitely keep them in mind. I think they're great, and they're always coming out with new stuff, and I'm really, really impressed with everything they've done and the potential to do so much more for this hobby there. So like I said, you can check them out, patreon.com/Puppetswar's Miniatures. Yeah, Puppetswar Miniatures, or puppetswar.eu as well. And before you leave here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on all our videos as well. If you liked that video feature, consider supporting us over at patreon.com and get back in the mail each month a miniature crate full of some of the stuff we review here, as well as some of the top 3D artist designs out there too, to help support what they're doing. Plus, discount coupon codes from some of those same manufacturers. They're yours to keep, whether you cancel or stay on. It's totally up to you. Obviously, we want to keep you as happy as possible. So check it out over at patreon.com/spikybits.